Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Adventures in Arcane Space. Once again, I'm your Dungeon Master, AuldDragon, and the players are...
Sorry, it would help if I didn't mute myself. I'm I'm David Big Rat Shepherd, and I play Braxon Miacc, who's a human fighter and the captain of the ship.
Hi everyone, I'm Daikami-sama and I play Solas of Ebha, who is Half-Elven Cleric Mage of Ogma.
James is running a little late, so Finn is up next.
Hello everyone, I'm Sailor Mortar. I'm playing Finnel'ar Mohani, a druid from Grayspace.
Hi, I'm Levalithana, an elven wild mage, and she doesn't know where she's from, even now.
Hey there, I'm Zach, and I play the character of Lafdul Moonglade, a specialty priest of Erevan Illicir, and a part-time, collector of things. Thief, some might call. He's from Evermeet, a great place in Realmspace. His gimmick is coming up with fun titles, and his current title is the Guileful Thespian of the Mendacious Arts. Don't all be old all at once, you know. Mendacious is a really good
I was just
word.
waiting for for you to put the text in so I could see.
It's in Twitch. I'll put it on Roll20 as well.
Very nice. We left off last time. Actually, I should, before we do that, if you want to have some influence, you can do so. Every 500 bits grants a character or me, the Dungeon Master, a reroll for normal rolls, attack, saves, system shocks, etc. And the players can hold on to them until they decide to use them, but they have to announce it first that they want to use them. The current numbers are Braxon has 1, Finn has 1, Lafdul has 3, Leva has 3, and Solas has 1. So for a very important rolls, you can get 2 rolls and choose the best one. So we left off last time. The party had eliminated some fishmen, some Kuotoa, who were extremely rude to their host, and dumped the corpses outside the entrance. Meanwhile, the ship that those fishmen arrived on was eliminated by your vessel. Freed some Herwadi. I think Braxon stayed at the entrance to watch the fight.
Yeah, probably.
So you did see that happen, and the enemy vessel was scuttled and basically sunk elsewhere. Now, Lafdul, you did mention that you wanted some, before we started, you did mention that you wanted some parts. I am okay with retconning that you got a few if you want.
Yeah. Well, I have got this book, and it might help to the party deal that I've got. That that I may question some undead spirits about whether I actually know what this seemingly non-magical term is.
Okay.
So far.
All right. So at this point, you're basically just waiting for the Thal, Huth Zalthu, to return and give you the information that he said that he would give you.
Oh, when we say we scuttled the ship, so to speak, I guess you're just saying it's unsalvageable, everything's destroyed, so to speak.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we got slaves.
We missed out on a helm, basically. That's like 50k down there at the minimum.
Solas continues to browse through the shelves.
Yeah, give me a second. You would have your ship would have recovered stuff, but you didn't, like, you haven't been back to the ship, so you don't know what they recovered.
Oh, right, got you.
All right, so you're going to continue to browse through the shelves. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Mostly books about magic, history, and engineering, and again I will basically try to collect a list that I'm trying to search for later on.
Okay.
Yeah, Lafdul's come around to the idea about writing notes now. So,
Well,
he-
Leva, go ahead. I interrupted you.
I will make inquiries onto the nature of various poisons and how to kill people. What's the best method of vermin control, etc., etc. Basically, if I can see if I can find inspiration for new poisons, so I can make notes on for like plants, minerals, something. I don't know. Minerals might be outside my forte.
Yeah, most of these books are narratives and histories rather than.
There might be. I might be trying to skim through to see if there's an interesting part about a book about how someone died. Someone was poisoned. So I would be trying to look for that.
Okay.
I might learn something. You never know.
Okay, and Leva?
Leva is also going to look more through the library because she would like to follow up to see whether she sees anything else for the what she started to see. This port unknown, no idea whether it was an asteroid or else. Trade negotiations with representatives from Falks.
Okay. So again, well, you need to wait like I think it was 40 minutes before you're unstuck from your position. Lafdul brought you over some cushions to sit on.
Thank you, Lafdul.
Lafdul would lend you his ring of telekinesis. I want this back, but you can use it to pull whatever books you can see off the shelves.
Thank you.
Okay.
She's going to cause trouble, that book.
Probably. I'd be happy if she did, to be honest.
No, Leva would never do anything bad or anything to cause trouble at all, ever.
So in
Only
general,
cause trouble to
most of the
Lafdul.
books that you're finding are they tend to be esoteric histories of places that you've never heard of.
Mhm.
And that's a pretty significant number. There are some military strategy books. It's mostly like narratives and histories as opposed to like how things work, how to do things here.
When you say military strategies, I might mention that to Braxon and say, do you think they got any like famous fighters or swordmasters in there that you could look up?
So again, it's not so much like
I have stories about
duelist
people.
manuals and stuff like that. It's more like a lot of them you're finding tend to be written well after the wars in question, and they're obviously you know nothing about these, so it's impossible to say. But you've seen you've seen some back home and elsewhere since that can be quite incorrect.
Lafdul's cast into detect magic. Grab the bookshelf.
Didn't you already cast that?
Oh, yeah, I think I did cast it. All right.
I cast detect magic.
Oh, I know
on the
someone
stuff.
cast it. I've got it. If he's got it, then yeah, I wouldn't have cast.
I cast it on
mine with
the
yours.
loot.
Yeah, I'll do mine for the bookshelves then.
Yeah, but you cast yours for another specific reason.
Oh, right. Yeah. All right. Never mind. Yeah, it's the book.
Well, when Lafdul says that to Braxon will say back, if we're going to skim through the books and look for things, we'd probably be better off looking for as many names of the local crystal spheres as possible, as that might be valuable information when we go back.
Well, that's what the fowl's doing for us.
Yeah. No, he's going to find us a way home, but we could find out information about things around here.
Well, if it seems like Lafdul's having no luck with his poisons left, then. But there are like hundreds of books, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably should just carry on looking for what you're looking for.
This is a library that, in terms of the volume of books, and keep in mind that there's a significant number of these that you can't read. A significant number. Probably in excess of 60%.
Is Braxon close enough to the foul to read anything?
No, the fowl has left the chamber entirely. So and keep it like there are bound books, there are scrolls, there are tablets, clay tablets, fired clay tablets. Those tablets are all written in languages none of you know. Some of the books you can read, some of the scrolls you can read.
That oil of scrying I've got, does that allow me to remotely view an area that I presume I can see? Or near enough.
Do you have it on you?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
I was wondering if I could scry on the file. Or the area of the file. And can I roll a spellcraft to know whether or not there would be any... Can it be reversed? Is someone aware of it? If I were to attempt it, would I know, basically? That's what I want to roll spellcraft for.
Alright, go ahead and roll spellcraft. You're pretty sure that you've heard some stories about stuff like this, and you have to know the location or person quite well.
Well, I know that. Wow, he says
You do not
Can't
know the
be
foul.
preached.
You do not know
No.
the foul quite well. Any of your companions
Oh.
you know quite well. Also, you'd realize that you'd have to have a container to pour this into, i.e. a bowl.
Well, that tells me a lot more about the potion that I didn't know.
Yep.
Well. Ew. Okay.
All right.
I
So
don't
I
have
mean,
anything
you
else.
you guys are finding books that might be of interest, but are there books that specifically help you? Most of the ones that you're finding seem to just be things that, hey, this seems fun to read, as opposed to, oh wow, this is actually going to be super useful in finding our way home or something like that,
Mm.
Finn's going to keep looking for books on flora and fauna he's never heard of.
Okay. You do find a few books that are travelogue style books. Most of them appear to be groundling texts as opposed to spacefarer texts. But they do describe some interesting animals and animals and plants that you've never heard of before. You don't recognize from their descriptions or from the illuminated, often bad artwork on the pages. But it's pretty interesting. So there's plenty of stuff there. Hard to tell exactly where most of these are that you're finding, because, again, most of them are written from a groundling perspective, so they're talking about countries as opposed to planets. But there's very interesting stuff there.
Because this is a really far-fetched question.
Mhm.
Because when Jill stole stuff from us, and obviously she gave out a title, and I did research on the title to realize that she was a cleric of Astrinian.
Mhm.
Would I have learnt what pantheon that is?
Yes, you would have, because you know that Astrinian is a friend of Quicksilver.
Essentially, is there any books in here that relate to the...
No, there don't appear to be any books on dragons.
No.
Other than, like, from the perspective of historical texts that mention attacks by dragons and stuff like that.
Alright.
But some hours pass, and I can go just move Bjornwolf back by Ockar.
Are there any
Yep, go ahead.
Are there any books about Braxon to put back? Read carefully, and he's also going to make sure there's no mess on the books, apart from the stuff that that Solas is aware of. He's going to see if there's any books about monsters and ways to defeat monsters.
So some of the travel logs would have like descriptions of battles against strange beasts and stuff like that. Most of the creatures that are described are not things that you're familiar with, but you can still like you'll be reading through them and like, oh, I hadn't thought of doing that against a creature like that kind of thing or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You mean Braxon isn't looking for special wood? Or books about special woods?
Braxton was looking about books about special woods.
I mean, there were travel logs that mentioned some unusual forests, but they don't exactly talk about the wood itself in terms of the carpentry descriptions that you would be interested in or want. They might still be interesting, but they're not written from a carpentry perspective. They're written from like a travelogue perspective. So a few more hours pass, and your host, the giant slug creature Huth Zalthu, floats back in and looks around at all of you. It would be like, even though he's pretty quiet coming in, the fact that he is 50 feet long does mean that there's just some noise of his form kind of, undulating in the air.
Gushing.
Yeah.
So as he gets your attention, he says to you, I believe that I have found a possible route back to your home sphere. It is complex, and the best I can do takes the form of a riddle of sorts. I do not have the names of the spheres in question or what you might encounter there, but I have consulted with some sources, and I do believe that this will be your best bet for finding your way home.
Thank you.
Are you prepared to receive the information now? He's like kind of looking to see if anyone's ready to write.
Yeah, Lafdul's writing down notes as he gets out some ink and paper.
Yeah, Solas is...
Okay. So he says to you, and he's kind of, it seems like he's reciting something, as opposed to like describing something.
We've had oracles give divination, so it's going to be like that.
As he
Is that
speaks,
fire?
it doesn't quite have that same ring, but there is definitely an element. You would guess that he may have consulted with either some divinities or some very knowledgeable otherworldly forces to get this information. And he speaks. Take the amethyst tunnel to the crimson path, then through the head of the pick along the azure path. That will lead you to the blood star and the shadowed path. Follow that to the green heart of the tree, and sail the emerald path, which will lead you to the eyes glowing in the dark. From there pass through the maw of the lion, and into the path of fire, and you will find your way home.
Yeah, I got like
Yeah,
I got some of that.
I'll
parts
give
of
you
that.
I'll give you the text. I will give you the
Or,
text.
Thank you.
for sheer levity, I wrote down take Amethyst Path, Azure Path, Bloodstar, Emerald Path, Glowing Eyes in the Dark, More of Lion Path of Fire.
I got Amethyst Tunnel.
So you would realize that all of the path elements that he's mentioning are one way that some cultures refer to phlogiston rivers.
Yeah.
So you would know that. So what you would understand this to be is
Like 6 different hops.
well, yeah, you're definitely going through different spheres, but basically it's like get to a sphere, figure out what the element in this sphere is that he's talking about, and that will lead you to a portal, or that is where you create a portal to get to a phlogiston river that would lead you to the next sphere.
Yeah.
So give me just a moment.
As he mentions, oh no, I don't need to mention them.
So I wonder if this will be
Cool.
we find a star and make a portal near the star. Or something similar to that.
So some of them are that, some of them you're not sure. You might have to get into the sphere and ask around, and that seems like the thing that you may have to do is
Yeah.
get to ask the locals, hey, we need to find X. Can you help us?
If we find locals that are willing to talk to us in these locations.
Yeah, there's usually locals that are willing to talk. They might want something in exchange, but
Usually.
some money. Sometimes there's just friendly people. So
And then sometimes they'll show up and want to mug us.
So you would also realize that that very first one, they head of the pick, that seems like that's talking about a constellation. And of course, when you get into a sphere, you can't just make out the constellations.
Yeah.
That is absolutely something that you need to talk to locals for.
Yeah. Because it's going to tie into their mythology or symbolism or whatever.
Well, it doesn't matter. You just need to know. Excuse me, I'm looking for the constellation that looks like a pick.
Yeah.
You don't need to know why.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes it's just like, I mean, especially with a settled sphere as opposed to a native sphere, people might just be like, it looks like a dog to me. Sure. Go with that. But that is essentially the route. Margoth will come up after he says that, and I guess come over towards you, Braxon, and mention, I believe I know what he's talking about by the Amethyst Tunnel. Although I didn't know of any portals at the end of that. She kind of like gives the Fall a questioning look, and the Fall just kind of looks back at her and says, "Not every route is known to those who live in a sphere."
Mm.
Do you know where the Amethyst Tunnel is?
Yes, I could guide you to it.
Then we can always try to use the pearl detector when we get to it, see what we find.
Or just cast a create portal spell.
I asked the Fowl, forgive my curious indulgence, but
Real fast. Are you still invincible?
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
Are you native to this sphere, or do you all travel? You just find somewhere and you just settle down. This is curious. I mean, you're the second fowl I've ever met.
I have lived here for many, many of your centuries. My people tend to, when we are very young, we tend to seek out a new sphere, either one that has no foul in it or one that is quite interesting, has many people to talk to, and settle down and begin to accumulate our knowledge. I remember when her people arrived. He kind of indicates Margoth. They really shook up the political environment here. For the
many
better, I
centuries?
would say.
Was that millennia ago? Centuries ago?
Oh, by your reckoning, I think that was about 3 centuries ago, give or take.
Gives me a time reference for those trophies they've still got.
Well, you would have learned that the goblinoids arrived about 3 centuries ago.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Good
I've
to
mentioned that
confirm
already.
that.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Braxton says, "Thank you for your wisdom." I have a question for you, but it's more of an offer than something I want to know. Would you like us to take a message to the other fowl on your behalf?
We have ways of communicating when we need. I do not know of the fowl you met, but I can get in touch with him if I desire.
Okay.
You get the impression that that's not a quick means of communication, but it may still be quicker than you getting home.
Probably, yeah.
Do you have any other requests for information?
Do you have any books about animal training?
I do not believe I do. Such matters is not of my interest.
Okay.
We will obviously be leaving fairly soon. But is there anything we could do to improve the situation here for after we've gone?
I do not believe that you really have the ability to make such a great change. And it is not for me to really say either. I let things play out as they do. If there is nothing else, I will thank you to depart, and I do appreciate you for disposing of those barbarous elements that barged in and interrupted me.
Yes, I'm sorry you had to be confronted by those people.
It happens. It happens. At least they will not bother me again.
That was one of the places we were thinking about visiting, weren't we? I mean, it might not happen anymore now that we know a way out, but there was the Decanter of Endless War now.
That wasn't the Kuatoa town.
Wasn't it?
No.
Oh, I thought it was. I thought it was a hobgoblin.
Yeah.
No. Oh, there's 2 more towns.
There's
We've
a
got
lot of
all
other.
flags.
There's a lot of other
plenty
cities.
more than.
Yeah.
Oh. It's a really big sphere, apparently.
It's not. It's actually not that big. It's just that when you're talking about like total surface area, it's greater than most of the planets you've been to. It's still fairly
Oh, yeah.
sparsely populated, all things considered.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
I will wish you good day. He's saying that there's definitely an air of finality to that and dismissal as he heads out of the chamber.
Okay, Braxton's going to make sure any books he was reading get put back exactly the right place.
Mhm.
And then head towards the entrance and wait for our ship to arrive.
You'll need to signal them, of course.
Yeah.
Is everyone else going with him?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Lever's going. Is she still?
Yep.
Is Lever still stuck in the floor?
No, because that was only 40 minutes, and it took hours for him to finally return.
Okay.
Solas will look longingly on the bookshelves and sighs and leaves.
Lafdul subtly casts emotion control hopelessness and so as he walks out. It's like, give him like despair.
Are you really doing that?
I'm trying to do it subtly, yeah. He's just looking at the book so longingly, and I'm just like...
He gets a saving throw, doesn't he?
Yeah, he gets a save throw.
You
Alright.
should do that with a PM.
No, it's fine. He doesn't know why I'm doing it.
Do I get wisdom bonus?
Yeah, you do. It's mind affecting.
Okay, let's see. I need to check my wisdom bonus. Okay.
You don't know what emotion I'm trying to indicate into if it fails.
Alright. So, you do know that someone was trying to manipulate your emotions? The fall has already left.
Solas will look Lafdul and asks, why did you do that?
Oh, you look so distraught, and I was like trying to give you some encouragement. You know, it's not the end.
You really shouldn't try to manipulate other people's
You
emotions.
look so sad, though. You can't have you being sad. I understand this is this is a very tearful departing of the library. You'll find many other libraries. After's obviously lying, but you know. Well, not obviously, but
Yeah, Solas. Lafdul is just trying to cheer you up. You know? Just think you're going back to your library now. Your own personal library.
Solas still doesn't appreciate trying to manipulate his emotions with magic without asking first.
oh, you know, Lafdul gets up to no good.
Oh, so remember, Lafdul, if you ever want to instill courage in Solas during a battle, you got to ask him first. You know, Solas, I see you're running away from that fear spell. I could take that away, but I guess I won't. Bye. You can't say yes.
Well, that's about the same as Leva with haste and on Braxon.
Yeah.
Look, Braxon, you're about to be killed. You could run away if I hasted you. Do you really want to be hasted? And he'll probably say no.
I'll take my chances as a young spry Braxon.
He's not that young anymore, is he?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Well, Leva doesn't know very much about the ages of human beings. I mean, they're just so
Yeah.
short-lived.
It's all right for these elves.
Mm-hmm. It's alright, we got a few centuries on us.
Give them 100 years and they're still walking around.
So you signal your ship, and it does pull in. You have to wait until you see it, and then you signal it, and it does pull in, and you're able to board. You bring along your 5 Herwadi as well. The survivors from the other ship includes 5 additional Herwadi, so that's 10 more. They will be willing to sign on with you if you want. Otherwise, you could swing by. Like if you go to a city, you can leave them there, and they can hire on to another ship as a crew or something like that. That's up to you.
Okay.
If they don't like their life here, come to a different sphere.
I mean, they were slaves, so they're pretty
so
happy to be free now.
Yeah.
you can go some more crew.
And they spoke common.
Yes.
That's always a benefit, actually.
Uh,
Broken common, but
They do, or you did also recover a life jammer, and one of the Herwadi was in that life jammer.
and expired or
No, he survived. He got him out in time.
That's good.
So
We'd
last suggest we destroy the life jammer.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going to say we
probably.
probably destroyed a life jammer.
Okay.
We had a lot of trouble destroying the last one.
Oh, they're tough to destroy, but you can do it.
Yeah, can we remember what worked?
I mean, if
Burn
you
into the
just
sun.
smash it for a long enough time with hammers and stuff like that, it'll eventually break.
Okay. Yeah, I would ask the Hawaii if they want to smash it up.
just make a bonfire out of some of the scrap and just dump it on there.
No, that won't work.
I mean, you can burn it. It just takes a lot longer for it to catch light.
Right.
But of course, I mean,
When
you're
we're burning
also
the corpses,
creating
and
a
stuff.
fire on your ship, so
Wow.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
I mean, if you just work at it, you can smash it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Once it's smashed, it loses its magic. So, and your crew is very eager to find out what you learned, whether you learned of a way to get home or not.
Yeah,
We tell them what we learned.
we learned of a riddle, if that helps. Yeah, apparently it's our way home. You know how oracles are. They tell
Yeah.
everything's in riddles.
Yeah. So we'll say that Braxon will say that Margoth has already solved the first part of the riddle. So it's just a matter now of going from sphere to sphere.
Or wherever it may take us.
Yeah.
So that's definitely gotten them quite excited. At least those of your crew that are from Brawl. Learning
brushes with death.
that you guys now, you know, it feels like, even though they have no idea how long it'll take to get home, it does feel like home is closer now because you have this route.
Mhm.
You know, and you can repeat it back to them, and obviously they won't understand what it means, but it'll still feel like, you know, hey, now
Yeah.
we can do
Start
it.
thinking
Now
about
we
it.
can do it. Is kind of
Yeah.
how they'll feel.
Since this is most likely going to be a long trip back home, should we visit the Pex to basically they had some problem they wanted to deal with and do that quest and gain some resources?
What sort of resources have they got to offer?
I mean, money would be plenty useful during the trip.
Well, we got stuff to sell. We can only sell so much stuff. So finding another point we can actually sell a majority of our stuff would be good.
And
What-
like I said, company funds and money for the crew would be something that would be useful.
Remind me, what was the problem the Pecs had again?
We don't know their exact problem. We just know that they were the other option to basically do a favor, and they would help us.
Yeah. Okay.
Tell us over on the sage's arms.
Yeah, they could have told you where the foul was.
Yeah,
right,
they live close here, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So it would not be that big of a detour to go and at least consult them.
Okay.
And if you
How
chose
many-
not to hire on these 10 Herwadi, they can get off there as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think we're heading back to
I
the
wouldn't
other
mind
port
us
anyway.
hiring the 10 Horwaiti if we need a crew.
Where are the pecs relative to the other thing we need to do, which is this thing with the flags?
The pecs are
That's
right
in
there.
the opposite direction.
Yeah,
I mean, it's only like a day's travel too.
mhm.
Yeah.
It's new time. We can see what's there.
Okay.
It's about 15 hours.
Can we learn from Margot if they're what's their affluence or wealth, or then could we sell like stuff there, basically?
Margoth says they're fairly simple, but they are great miners. If you need metal or uncut gems, they're a good source for them.
Ooh,
They do not themselves do much in the way of decoration, though.
uncut gems. Lafdul could make a small fortune casting gems. You see some of the diamonds I cut. I made hundreds and thousands of gold out of them.
Yeah, so they would be able to offer us quite a lot of resources, possibly.
We'll probably trade cut gems for uncut gems. I mean, in our favor, but hey.
Margoth kind of says, when I say that they don't really go for decoration, I mean that I don't know that they would be particularly interested in purchasing any of that.
What do they like? Mining equipment, I guess. Material. Oh, we buy some crafting, mining supplies and just transport it out. But I suppose, do they know if they're hidden port?
Oh, the Mongrelman port?
Yeah. Because Mongrelmen,
They
they're
know
crafters,
of it,
so-
they do not know where it is. But we do trade with them.
Oh, alright, I guess they're trading for picks and stuff. Not the idea. Mining supplies.
They are very good at making functional equipment. It doesn't look fancy, but it does its job very well. Some of your dwarves hearing this will basically chime in and say, aye, they're quite good at mining. I kind of hate to say it, but even superior to us. They don't have our design sense, though.
One trick miners, then, I guess.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. They're just, you could say that they're a peaceful, simple folk. They get pleasure out of mining. Far more so than even dwarves.
So, do we need any mining equipment to get down this passage to...
Yeah, it won't hurt to buy some.
Margoth will say, unless there's been a change since last time anyone has ventured that way, I wouldn't think so. It's smaller than most of the other passageways, but it's still amply large enough for your ship to get through.
Well, if we're going to buy any equipment, I'd probably want to buy equipment that keeps our crew alive. Improve weapons.
Did we upgrade the armor of Pre to chainmail?
A little bit of it.
Oh, like a
Not all of
squad.
them. Yeah, it was one lot of...
I thought you got all of them. upgraded.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I gave you a price. I didn't give you a piecemeal price.
No, it was one type of people was did.
Well, yeah, your crew are the only ones that you need that for.
Yeah, well, like we got different types of people. We got gift.
Yeah, they're all better than that, and it's always the worst armor class.
Yeah.
yeah, this is a crew that were being upgraded from leather to chainmail. So
And I think
can't
shields.
imagine it would be that many.
And I think
Wow,
shields.
Yeah.
Chainmail's like, what, 40, 50 gold per piece? How many crew?
Braxon
Well,
paid for it.
Yeah, I paid
It's
for
already been done.
it. Yeah, got it on board.
No, but we'll need some more for the Hawaii. Because you said we're doing this per every new crewman that we get.
Yes, they just need shields. And again, I mean, you did you hire any of those other Hawaii?
We haven't yet.
The ones back at the Mongrelman port?
We haven't decided yet.
How many were there to hire, so to speak?
I think I said 30.
Yeah.
Is it worth going over a crew couple?
I guess I forgot to ask before you guys left, because that should have been done before you left there.
No, we said we'd
come back.
We would come back.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I would think that we might want to hire, basically be
over.
Bit over on the crew limit, since it's going to be a long way back, and we don't know how many times we can recruit people on the way.
Yeah, especially seeing as they've got a magical ability to make clean air.
Yeah, so air is no longer a problem when we have them.
And if food is also something that if it starts to become problem, magic can also help with that.
Yeah, there's 3 of us that can do that now rather than just laughter. Oh, it was fun when it was just me.
So hiring a bit over the minimum limit is definitely recommendation that Solas would give.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. It'd be good to be over, maybe like 10% over, something like that.
Yeah, and the thing we can offer the Hawaii is if they come with us, they can go to somewhere where they're less likely to be slaves if they ever decide to leave.
Yeah, there's plenty of Hawaii back in Brawl Space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, we know one place they would be welcome. Our Lizardmen friends.
Maybe, yeah.
They're probably
they
like
had
a
Hawaii
culture.
with them.
Oh, did they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had Hawaii with them.
Yeah, I suppose.
Right, so are we going to go see these pecs?
Yeah, I would at least recommend us visiting them. If for nothing else, like Lafdul said, we can sell some of our gems in there, and also possibly buy some supplies.
Yeah, and hear them out, find out what their problem is, whether it's something sell fairly quick.
If they are simple, I'm not certain if they'll buy.
I mean, they might be willing to buy.
If they can't buy gems, it doesn't matter.
If we can buy the uncut ones, then I can make a small profit off them.
That's true.
I mean, I've got time to kill while traveling.
Yep, that's true. But if anything we can't sell here, we can sell in the next sphere or the sphere after that.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine we could sell a lot of stuff here. I mean, comes to the really expensive stuff, we'll probably have to sell it at an elephant port. They're the only ones with that kind of money.
Well, we are going to an illicit port, aren't we?
No.
I thought that place with the flags was an illicit.
No, that's the Goblin.
No, it was
That's Gorlgak's Rest.
Okay, well then we're not going to an illicit port.
No, we could probably sell some of the stuff at the Goblin Port, to be fair.
We could do, yeah. Let's not worry about that now. Let's go see the pecs.
All right. Is everyone in agreement there? Haven't heard from everyone.
Leva is not altogether in favor of keeping away from all the illicit ports because she has her quote quest to follow up,
Is she
and
saying
it
this?
does seem that she needs to have contact with some of the illicits to find out.
Is she saying this?
You might want to voice this, otherwise no one knows. Just say, I would like to go to an illithid pool or something, you know. Would it be too hard for us to do that?
Yes, she'd probably say that. Yes, she would say that.
Are there places we can go where there's illithids that aren't entirely owned by illithids?
There tend to be illithids in most of the major goblinoid ports.
Yeah, so do you make do with that?
Yeah, an actual city.
Leva doesn't really know. Sorry, Leva doesn't really know. She certainly needs some contacts, but from everything she saw and heard, she needs contact with a particular group of illithids. So she needs to find those first.
Well, what about that illithid you met before? Sold those books to?
I think he was just a person in a town.
Didn't Leva inquire about the stuff from him already?
Yeah, but you don't know about that.
Yeah, but he didn't know about it.
No, the only thing I got was that you was following up on your own thing.
No, I don't have it in front of my eyes at the moment, but she did get some information from him, yes. I forget what the group is called. Well, anyway, I need to follow this up right now, this moment. The thing is that she does need to talk to certain illicits, if only to figure out where she actually has to go to get in contact with that group.
Okay.
I mean, we could sell the expensive jewelry at the illithid pool. They'll definitely have the money for.
Lafdul,
Yeah.
You've spoken to dead people before. Did you speak to any of the dead illithids on the ship where we freed the slaves?
No. Did I? I don't think I did.
I don't believe
Did
so.
you keep some hands or something?
No, I didn't. That's one of the times it slipped my mind.
I mean, again, keep in mind that
I'm not the only one that can do this.
right, but
Yeah.
one thing to keep in mind is that even like you're in an area that you don't know, but even back in Brawl Space, it is known that there are different quote unquote nations of illithids that rule different spheres.
Yeah.
And these are ones that you know of back there. And you have heard of some others here that you have not heard of before. Well, you've also heard of Falx. Just Falx kind of comes up to be like a hub of. It's kind of like in some ways, it's kind of like the Illithid Brawl.
Yeah.
A kind of a central hub location for a lot of different Illithid groups. And you're talking about literally billions and billions and billions of individual lithids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Brax is going to say to Leva, what exactly are you trying to find out from the illithids? How do we help you?
Leva sort of says, well, I'm looking for information about my background, where I come from.
Have you tried asking Symphoine? He has access to magic that's not quite how ours work. It does things differently.
Eva says, no, she hasn't.
You should definitely ask him what kind of magic he could do. I get the feeling, well, I'll call it a hunch. Maybe he'll have something that could work to help you understand who you are. Just like how Finn figured out how old you. Did you actually tell the rest of us that bit?
I don't actually know. Finn, did we do it in private or in public? I don't remember.
You
No,
probably would have done it in private.
No, but
whether
would you have gone
share it,
celebrating? No, I'm actually younger than.
No, there's nothing to celebrate about it.
Well, being younger, of course it is. I mean, it's nothing.
What's
for elves,
10
I
years
suppose.
in the course of 1,000
Wow.
years? Come
Did
on.
you say that out loud? And all the humans are like, oh, that's a good portion of my life there.
In fact, thinking about it, at this particular time, I think elves may even be similar to human beings. When they're 15 to 18 to 19, 20, you want to be older. You don't want to be younger.
It takes a long time for an elf to age.
I mean, think of it this way. You got 10 more haste to cast on yourself.
All right, so but here's the thing though. If you go to an Illithid port, what information do you want to get? How do you go about getting that? How can the other party members help?
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, also, what do you think the likelihood of actually getting that information is? Because you will need a plan.
The first thing she wants to have is having been directed towards that particular group, which I can't find at the moment.
You just look at slave trade groups, work from there. Who are the elven slave trade groups or something?
No, I wrote it down. I just
Well, I'm just being about broad things you can ask or start.
I mean, Lafdul, it's Illithids.
So
almost every.
But so here's one of the reasons why I'm bringing that up. You know that the group that you're wondering about is one that would at least have some minor contact with Brawlspace, the known spheres, because you ended up there. And right now you're in a place that has no clear contact with the known spheres, except through Falx.
Correct. Yeah, that's correct.
So...
But would...
I mean, I would...
About
if you...
120 years ago, can that still be assumed, or was there contact between the spheres 120 years ago?
Well, there would have the fact that you ended up at Brawl means that there is some contact. And what I'm trying to get at is that it might just be the better idea to question the Illithids that are actually there in Brawl space.
Yeah, okay.
Rather than just random Illithids and hope that they just happen to know about this thing that is, from their perspective, extremely distant.
If they know of it at all.
Do you know how many accidents happen during a lifetime that you would never have thought about? It's okay.
No, I get it, and I would, if you wanted to go and like actually question a bunch of Illithids in an Illithid city, then I would definitely start doing rolls to see if anyone has heard of things. But what I'm getting at is that it would probably be pretty low chances because you're well outside of that sphere of influence.
I've got a question for you, Leva. You seem to know a little bit about Illithids, more well, more than me anyway. What do they want that we can give them? We're not giving them slaves, and we're not going to give them. I mean, I hear they eat brains. We're not going to give them brains to eat or slaves to have. So, what can we actually give them that will work as a bargaining tool for whatever it is you want?
Old. I think Leva would probably know quite a bit about this because she was sort of sent off by her master to do certain of these things.
Mhm.
So, but me, I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, basically, what I'm getting at is, before we had those books to trade to an elite, we've traded them now. So we need to find other things like that, and then you need to hang on to them so that you have something to trade for this information. So, do we actually have anything in our possession now that you could give? Well,
Do we?
Right. So
Old?
yeah. So she's been waiting for an answer from me. Number one, Elithids are they do operate as traders, in a big way. To a certain extent, there are four major, at least back in the known spheres, there are four major trading groups, accepting individual trade. Like the small merchants and some of the big human trade costers. As races, there are four big trade groups. There's the Arcane, there's the Dohwar, there are the Elithids, and then the Neogi. So they're, in a lot of ways, they're traders. So money always speaks. In terms of specific stuff that they might want, that you might be willing to trade, is going to be knowledge.
Yeah.
But
What type of knowledge?
knowledge? Well, that's kind of going to be either up to you to figure out by asking them, or figure it out for yourself and make offers. But to them, knowledge is power. So knowledge that could be used in various ways. Like they would be much more interested in, like, the kind of thing that would be like, oh, that is very interesting that this group of people was doing that thing, as opposed to, did you know that 200 years ago this king on some random planet went on a crusade against goblins? Like, knowledge that they can use either for their trading purposes or against opponents or allies, used to manipulate other people. That's the kind of knowledge that they would want.
Let's say, how badly do you want to be chaotic evil, Eva? Because you could just tell them where the port is. You'd probably get a lot of information you'd want then.
No. Leva wouldn't do something like that.
That was an out of character comment.
Oh, okay. But still, Leva wouldn't do that because, she's so, how would you call it, traumatized from having been a slave herself.
I mean, let me put it this way. If any of you guys did that, there's there'd be some serious alignment repercussions.
Oh, you'd easily go.
Even the thought that you would, that somebody would do this. No, Leva looks at you. No.
Oh, that was out of character. I was
Right.
saying that in
But-
character.
Well, let's get back in character.
Yeah, and also, like, you're not at an Illithid port right now. You're not close to an Illithid port right now. If you want to go to an Illithid port, you're talking about a couple weeks travel back towards where you arrived in the sphere.
Back.
Yeah.
No, Leva doesn't actually want to go back either.
Okay.
So,
Well,
if somebody manages to convince her that she might be more successful in Wildspace, she would say, okay.
You would.
Well,
be
so I don't
Wildspace.
you've got an 18 intelligence. I think that's something that you would realize.
Genius.
Ah, ding.
I mean,
Yes,
like,
but they can still convince me.
Right, but there's an element of your best bet is always going to be kind of like to track down contacts that Thoriax had.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, and those are going to be much closer to Brawl than where you are right now.
You had a lot of stuff in Space you needed to investigate.
Yeah, well, but we have, well, we know Leva has a few sort of like parts of a puzzle that she needs to find some connection between to be able to put the puzzle together.
Okay, well, here's an idea. If we've got two different factions of Illithids here. If we meet other Illithids, they might be interested in information about these Illithids, so you can keep some notes on that.
Mm-hmm.
That might be something you could sell. Also, if we find any more things that are written in Illithid script, that could be something that you claim to hang on to, so that you have things to bargain with.
Mm-hmm.
If we go into any ports and meet groups like the Seekers, you can find out if there's any Illithid activity and see if you can pick up any sort of information.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
If we find any Illithid items and they're not looking like they're evil things that are used for slavery, you can hang on to those. You could just gather yourself a bunch of stuff that could be traded if you meet anyone that's willing to negotiate with you. You can do that as we go along.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
if you find something useful and say, I want to do this, it's not going to get everyone killed, then we can go along and do that on the way back, if that comes up. Just keep an eye out for things.
She always keeps an eye out for things.
Keep
All right,
your eyes in.
But back to the original question. How does everyone feel about going to the Pecs? Visit the Pec.
Yeah, we should
town
go
of
there.
Pecs.
I want to buy some uncut gems. So.
I've only heard from Braxon, Solas, and Lafdul on that. Ockar, Finn, Leva, how do you feel about visiting the Pecs?
Yeah.
Finn would be fine with that.
I'm
Alright.
fine.
Okay. So Margoth can direct you to the location. And that is over here. So it will be about a 15-hour trip to get there.
Shall I just move the ship there, or are we gonna?
Yeah, that's fine.
It's really important.
15 hours.
Yeah. So because of the time spent with the foul, that's definitely going into the next day.
Right.
But some of us won't have spells. Yeah.
Oh, I get to go up 1 hit point. Woohoo!
All right. So, as you are approaching the wall of this cavern, essentially, you are intercepted by a pair of eel ships painted gray, and they do start signaling you, but Margoth is required to interpret what they're signaling. And she says, they're asking for our business. We've arrived at Deep Earth Delve.
Right. So,
Trade, basically.
well, we were going to meet someone, weren't we? Did that person? Was that person we were going to meet?
No, you don't know you don't know of any names. You just know that they've been having some issues, and it's unspecified what those issues were, and it was just like you can go ask them, find out what's going on, and then if you chose to help them out, you could do so.
Right.
Yeah,
I
just
think
say,
I think we might signal adventurers looking to trade.
yeah, ventures look at
Yeah.
trade of information and trade of
That sounds good.
and stuff, gems.
Okay. So you signal to them that, and Margoth interprets their signal back. They've agreed they will guide us down to Schistholm, their capital. So you follow them in, and initially the capital looks very, very small. You see some port facilities and a few buildings and a number of caves. But as you get closer, you realize that the reason it looks so small is because the vast majority of it has to be in, essentially underground.
Uh-huh.
And as you are guided into the relatively small port facilities, there's a few eel ships docked there as well in a separate section that's obviously not a foreign, like a public dock section. It's obviously the military section. There are no other foreign ships there at this moment, but there's only like berths for 4 ships anyway. But you're guided in and tie off, and you get a good look at some of the creatures living here as you are
Would this
making
be a
dock.
place that the battle dolphin can go, or would we have to go down with a shuttle?
You can dock with the battle dolphin. It's fine.
Oh, I have a pool.
I've kind of thought that, like, any actual Spelljammer facility, like that's open to Spelljammers, actual Spelljammers, as opposed to, like,
Yeah.
going to Waterdeep, which is a groundling city, they're going to have specifically designed their port facilities to accept ships that cannot land in water
Right.
or anywhere,
So
kind
like
of thing.
a dry dock or a thing that levitates a ship or something.
Yeah.
Or at least holds a ship.
Yeah.
Please.
So you basically just rest your ship on planks or something like that. So.
No, that's not a delicate balance.
Yeah.
I suppose if it's support from mobile side.
Well, no, I mean, like, essentially like a dry dock facility kind of thing, where you're basically resting in a cradle, kind of thing. You get a good look at the creatures. They are short, a little bit shorter than dwarves, maybe about the height of gnomes. Kind of thin and spindly, so not like they do not have the bulk of dwarves and gnomes. They have large hands and feet, and their eyes are completely white. Otherwise, they're humanoid.
Wow.
Their skin tends to be like sandy or gravelly in appearance, and they do have hair, but they have completely white eyes. And this area is actually, like, it's very, very shadowed. Because you do have the fire body over in the center of the cavern.
Yeah.
And this is specifically designed to be in deep shadow where you are. So right after you crossed over, into the shadow, it was, like, extremely dark until your eyes got used to it and stuff like that. But there was enough time to get your ship landed. After tying off, one of these creatures crosses over the gangplank onto your deck and greets you. And he says, "Welcome. I am Den, Dockmaster of Schistholm. The docking fee will be 35 gold pieces, and that will include water service."
What language is he speaking?
He is speaking Common, He recognized some dwarves among your group and is speaking common.
Oh, that's good.
It's heavily accented, but it is not broken at all.
That's good.
And he like you saw him give a nod to some of your dwarves as he came on board.
35 gold pieces.
The fact that they recognize what a dwarf is means that dwarves have come past through here.
So you have you paid that?
Yeah, I will pay that.
Okay.
Should I put that on the dock, or is someone else going to do it?
I've already got it on my local sheet.
Okay.
Awesome.
So after you pay him, he says, "Welcome to Shistholm. We don't have many amenities for foreigners, but you are welcome to take advantage of what you wish. You can visit Mrat's supplies if you need provisions or more equipment for your ship." And he'll, as he's saying this, he'll give quick directions to the facilities. If you're here for trade, Cott's Trade Goods is going to be your depot for that. They have the things that most of you outsiders are interested in. We have gems, we have metal, we have tools, if you're interested in such things.
Sounds very good.
What tends to be of your... What do you value? As we were caught a little bit off guard by that.
Mostly what we look for are food, weapons, armor. We can make some of our own, but they are serviceable. Most of your kind, and especially your dwarven friends, make much better equipment than we normally get.
When's the last time you saw dwarves? You seem to recognize them. Far as we know, there were no dwarves around here, or humans, not many at least.
Oh, no. We have never seen any here. But
Oh.
back home, we see them occasionally. The dwarf in question that he's been, who's on deck, speaks up and says, some of our lands occasionally have portals to the elemental plane of Earth where these folk are from.
Oh.
Planet travel. That's always fun.
I didn't realise you were elemental.
The Dockmaster Den speaks up and says, "Aye, but it is so much more peaceful here. We can work without much interference from other creatures, so we like it here a little bit better."
Perhaps there's something you could assist us with. We had a sort of mysterious message that there was something here that we could perhaps help with. Is there anyone around town?
Yes, you heard about that. Well, you can speak with Yin up at the government building.
Right.
They are a clerk, but they can help you. I'm sure she will have more information. Have you heard anything about what that is?
No. But we've helped with lots of problems, so I don't know if we can help with this, but we'll certainly like to find out if we can.
It is a trade issue. I am sure that Yin can fill you in on the details. Do you need anything else?
Not me personally, but
Do you have any libraries here?
Probably not the way that you think. We have some... We like to put our writings on a more permanent material than your paper.
Oh, I don't mind that. I would just like to browse if possible.
I'm not sure you could read it either.
Ah, pity.
Braxon says that's interesting. I've heard of people putting things on slates, carving them in stones.
Yes, our language does tend to elude your kind. He speaks a brief line in a language none of you have heard before, but it sounds very much like stone grinding against stone and sand flowing across a surface. A mixture of all of these kind of naturalistic sounds.
Braxton's going to see whether the ring works with languages that aren't of our own plane.
It does. You can understand what he was saying, and it was just a simple thing along the lines of our words are very different from those found here.
Would Braxton be able to talk like that? He'll give it a go. He'll say those are very interesting words.
You cannot form the words. You cannot form the sounds.
Okay. Hasn't got the vocal cords for it.
Yeah.
Well, let's say that in common.
The Den gives a chuckle and says, "I, you don't." Get a little Scottish there for a second. If you're interested in, if your crew would like a little bit of shore leave, you can also visit the Pick and Maddock Tavern. Although I don't know that you'd be much interested in our brews.
Oh?
I don't know about Solas. He'll try anything.
Yeah, but do they drink liquid rock or anything? Maybe they drink iron brew.
It's probably. Oh God.
What kind of brews do you have?
He mentioned some names of things that you've never heard of.
Basically, Solas asks, what are they made of?
Should they like mineral poisons that workers fermented alcohol?
They probably have mineral water.
It sounds like they definitely steep the liquids in like stone kegs. So they are they're very high in mineral content. They're definitely like liquid. I mean, it's not like it's liquid stone or something like that, but
Yeah.
they're you could try them. It's nothing like anything you've heard of before.
Solas is intrigued enough to go and try at some point.
Don't go going off getting stoned without the rest of us, Solas.
Do you have any taverns that cater for outsiders?
Unfortunately not. You might be able to find some imports.
Okay. Well, how about we find a nice tavern for the crew and see if we can buy something.
Yeah, we can have like a day
Trade.
short leave or something.
They do serve a good roast stew if you're interested in that. There's some mushroom salads if you're interested in that as well.
Yeah. Maybe if there's some outside beers that our crew can drink, pay corkage charge, and bring something ourselves, rather than have our crew drink rocks.
Well, it's not that you drink rocks. It's just very high in mineral content, which is probably not to your taste.
Okay.
Like, have you ever had water from a tap that has high mineral content?
I have.
I've been to the city of Bath,
Yeah.
and they made the mistake of paying for some water from the fountain, which was the most vile water I've drunk in my entire life.
Yeah. So they have that too. So yeah, that's kind of what you'd be looking at. But again, how that comes across with a brew, you don't know. He definitely did mention that they use mushroom and stuff, mushrooms in their brews. So there's some elements that
Fermentation.
yeah, for fermentation that you'd be familiar with, but the high mineral content of the water that they use and the fact that they age them in rather than like wood or the equivalent in stone, you'd guess that there's a lot of mineral leaching into that.
Yeah.
Very earthy taste, whatever it is.
Okay. Well, we're going to stay here for a bit because we could release the crew in shifts.
You can at least stay for a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to be somewhere where our crew can come out and not be under massive threat.
Yeah. So the tavern itself is located right inside one of the large tunnel entrances, and it actually does have an quote-unquote outdoor seating area. You'd guess that on the occasions that a trade vessel does come here, it is, it does serve the foreign crews and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can certainly let your crew go in shifts to get a meal. The crew is like they hear about what kind of drinks are, and some of them are like, oh, that sounds bad, and others are like, hey, I'm gonna give it a try. I've never been here. Some of them are
months.
yeah. Many they've had drinks. You guys have some stuff on board.
Yeah.
But
Solas is going to.
Hold on, let me finish. It's a bit more like there are some members of your crew, obviously, they're signing on with adventurers and they never know where they're going to end up. Who are like, "Hey, we're in a new place, never been here, never even encountered these people before. I'm going to go see what they make. What their food is like."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Solas is going to go with the adventurous crew members.
Yeah,
Right.
Braxon.
He's doing a pub run.
Braxon, when he lets everyone know about the shore leave, he's going to thank them all for being very low profile in all the other ports we've been to.
Yeah, I mean you got good crew for that. So
yeah,
you have you've been doing this for a number of years. You've gotten to a point where you can weed out a lot of the troublemakers before they sign up.
I mean, Lafdul's still around.
Well, that's why I said most of the troublemakers, not all of the troublemakers. All right, so Braxon, did you want to go speak to the government clerk?
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else want to come?
Sure, yeah, Solas is only going out at the evening to the pubs.
This might be. Ockar, do you want to come to this?
Leva will come with you.
Okay.
Yeah, Finn's interested enough and looking for something to do.
Out.
Okay.
All right, so everyone.
All right. So you make your way through the exterior part of the port into a tunnel as directed by Den. And you find yourself in front of a large edifice in this tunnel, and you've noticed a lot of cross tunnels and stuff like that. This is clearly mined out area. Finn, having spent a number of years with some dwarves, you can pick up some of the differences. You're a little bit surprised at how plain everything is. Like, everything is form over... I mean, everything is function over form kind of thing. It's not ugly, it's just plain. These people do not appear to be much for decoration. You do pass by some little shops selling, like... utensils, plates, and stuff like that. And they're like undecorated. They have nothing fancy about them. They do their job, and that is it.
Very
Are they
interesting.
ceramic or just earth?
They're stone and metal.
Oh.
Very interesting style of art.
As in lack of it.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but I wasn't going to say it out loud.
No, but it's very interesting.
Well, Solas can appreciate the beauty in pure, highly designed function.
Yeah, I mean the quality is absolutely solid. That stuff is not going to break anytime soon. It's not like, it's at the higher end of quality in terms of sturdiness and stuff like that. Of course, that also makes some of them a little bit heavier and things like that. Also, the utensils are clearly designed for bigger hands than yours. Pecs have large hands. Not gigantic hands, but, just a little bit larger than yours, even the humans. Despite their 3 feet, being 3 feet tall.
It's almost as if they're abstaining from art. Like they've taken it to some sort of religious level.
No, you'd guess that it's just a lack of aesthetics in their mentality. It's just something that doesn't seem to occur to them, because you're not seeing it anywhere. But you get to the large edifice that you were directed to, and it is built into, the building is carved out of the rock, or, carved into the rock, I should say. You have the front edifice, and you go in, and you realize that the floor, the walls, they're all squared off rock, just carved right out of the solid stone of this area, as opposed to built. And you were greeted by a young Peck that asks for your business. You inform them that you're interested in speaking to Yin, the government clerk, and you were ushered into what is functionally an office. The desk is a mixture of stone and mushroom wood. And a female Peck who really doesn't look that much different than the male Pecks, other than lacking a bit of facial hair. But she stands up and greets you, still in the heavily accented common, and says, "What can I do for you?"
It's partly a case of what we might be able to do for you. We've been told you have some sort of problem, and we are the company of the Broken Sword. We've solved lots of problems for various people, and we'd be interested in hearing what your people might need assistance with, to see whether it's something we might be able to help with.
Yes, we do not have too many trading partners in this land. Mostly those who come to us, and we mostly keep to ourselves. However, we do have one trading partner that is significantly farther away than we'd prefer to go, and our ships are not the most powerful. That has led them to being preyed upon quite significantly, and we have not been able to uphold our trade deals. And it is causing some problems for us. What we would like is an escort. I have heard already of your vessel. It is quite powerful and larger than our own vessels. We would like an escort to bring a delegation to our trading partners, so we can explain the situation, make amends, and make new arrangements. Would that be something that you're even willing to do before I give you more information?
It depends on where are we supposed to escort you.
Lafdul just looks to Lava to say, can you just teleport them now?
Depends where he wants to go.
So essentially what she's asking is this even something that you'd be interested in doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Braxon says this is the sort of thing we've helped in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are interested in. Of course, it depends on where you need us to escort you. But most likely it's something that we would be willing to do.
have you heard of the land of Usharon?
Sure.
Does
Have we
it
heard
ring
of
a
that?
I think we've heard of it. I don't think we've been there, though.
I'm not sure that you have heard of it.
Mm-mm. I think that
done.
takes care of Leva teleporting there.
I mean, it's over there so many miles. Good luck.
Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to ring our bells.
It is a cavern kingdom, about 2 weeks away, populated by Zorn. They are fairly isolated, but we get along with them reasonably well. But we have not been able to keep up our end of a trade deal that we made some time back because of piracy.
Zorn.
Elemental Earth. Phase.
Yeah.
I don't know that any of you would have heard anything about them before.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, I think not.
Probably outside
Okay.
of our filter.
Well, we may be able to escort you there, but I don't know that we could stay to get rid of any risk of piracy in the long term.
No, and that is not what we are asking. We wish to renegotiate with them and get them to agree to take over the shipping.
Ah, yes. I see.
They keep to themselves, but their vessels are also not ones that anyone would want to mess with.
Ah, I see. So you have a different
Well-
deal where you still carry out the trade and maybe they get paid more or something. That sounds quite a reasonable negotiation.
Yes, you would not need to be a part of the negotiations
No,
themselves.
of course not. Of course not.
We just need the escort.
Yes.
Do you need escort back, or are you going to ask for them to escort back?
We will be asking them to escort us back.
So it's basically one-way trip as a mission.
Indeed.
How? It's a few weeks. Does Margoth know where they are?
It's the vague.
You'd have to
I
go
don't
ask her.
know.
She didn't come with
I
you.
don't know that we
Oh,
brought
yeah.
Mark.
Or can she tell us if it's close to any of the places we know?
I mean, she
You'll
might
have
be able
to
to
ask
tell
them.
you, but again, she didn't come with you.
Yeah, I mean the government official. If she can tell us.
Yin.
Yin says, yes, you are probably familiar with Port Karthok, populated
Yes.
primarily by kobolds.
Yes, I think we.
It is a few days away from there.
Yeah, literally right back to where I start.
Yes, I think that might be possible. Possible escort mission that we do.
Yeah. Is,
Well,
but
if
I
you want
can't
to,
really-
you are welcome to take time. You do not need to decide right now if you wish to discuss it amongst yourselves.
What kind of reward are we talking about?
Well, we would be more than happy to give you a chest full of uncut gems. That is our typical payment.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, Lafdul's he probably carry like a couple of cut gems on him from the party thing. And say, I can cut gems. Do you cut gems here? Or you just mine them?
We do, but we are primarily miners. There are not too many of our people who enjoy that work.
Do you
I definitely do.
Do you have any people who survived an attack by pirates who could give us information?
That has been one of the problems, is that our ships rarely survive the attacks.
Right. Or I think we will survive.
Do you know what typically you're preyed upon by? What races? The Illithids, or is it
As I said, we
goblins?
have not had many survivors, and that is part of the problem, is we've lost most of our trading fleet.
Right. And the ones that survived, they managed to avoid the pirates entirely.
Yes, they have been lucky enough to do so.
Right.
But we cannot risk any more of our trade
No,
vessels at this
of
time.
course not. Of course not.
Yeah, you need, of course, fleet to protect your home.
If we encounter pirates, do we get to keep any spoils?
Of course.
Yeah, we're the ones putting ourselves out for the delegation.
Oh, I know. I'm just seeing what the full deal is.
If we're attacked, will you help us in fighting, or are you more somebody who just would like to wait until it's all done?
Our vessel will
Good
help if
delegates.
possible, but we have small and poorly armed vessels. We
Okay.
would be looking to you to take care of the threats.
Mm-hmm.
Solas,
Mm-hmm.
could you not help them design some siege equipment?
I mean, I could, but it sounds like mostly that their vessels are small and don't have that many emplacement for ship weapons.
So you
Well,
saw
I don't
eel
know.
ships as you were landing. And all
Yeah.
of them were painted gray. Braxon would know that eel ships are a very old design. It's extremely outdated.
Yeah.
They're very poor craft. They get the job done, but they're very poor craft.
Yeah, if we were staying around, I'd probably suggest new ships that they could commission, but they'll be using up their resources.
Sounds like a silly thing to mention, but could you and Solas like design come up with like ship schematics to sell to people in the future? Not obviously now, but
Braxton would need the shipwright proficiency.
Yeah,
I don't know. Fair enough.
yeah, he's going to get that at some point, but hasn't got it yet.
Yeah, if Braxton had shipwright proficiencies, then we could make basically blueprints of the ship.
Yeah, but even then, that would work because we would need to have a shipwright here, and Braxton would need to train them, which would take time. We probably wouldn't be staying around for years. So,
I mean, I think they have shipwrights here.
yeah, but for one shipwright to teach another shipwright about design would take time.
But you hire. Well,
Anyway,
you go back to
that's.
battle.
Oh yeah. No, it's something we could do in the future, but it's not something this job.
Because we seem to be constantly encountering people that don't know how to build better ships. I don't want to come across insulting, but that could be quite valuable to them.
Good.
So, I mean, but also keep in mind that they could just buy better ships from others.
Yeah.
There's probably another reason that they have not bought better ships.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You've got to buy helms. You've got to buy
They're
ships.
not
you've
good
got to pay crews.
sailors.
But I think
They said sail and then the entire thing sinks.
No, they have like stone sailcloths.
if anyone has any questions, I think they should ask. But Solas thinks that there is most likely enough information to make the decision already.
They built
Yeah.
So
they
the-
built
I mean-
boat out breaks and it sinks instantly.
The big
But,
thing the big thing is that you're looking at 2 weeks there, 2 weeks back kind of thing.
Yeah.
So to a certain extent, like, do you have information for getting home?
The route we're going on, does that take us anywhere near that other place where we want to swap the flags?
No.
Oh, yes, you will go by
goes- yeah.
the Goblin Port. Yes.
Okay, so on the way back, we could do the thing on the Goblin Pool.
Did Margoth mention where the Amethyst tunnel is?
Yes. So it is off the map to the west. So you're on the right side of the map for that right now.
Okay.
Well, before we leave, because the other things we should talk about on our own, Braxon would ask Yin whether we might be able to sell some of our valuables to the Zorn, and
They would eat that. Feel like
They will
that's
eat them.
heresy.
well,
Well, actually, I don't think I know this, but
You wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that. No.
who cares if they eat them?
Yeah,
Look, if they're going to pay you a lot of money for
I
diamonds or
suppose
whatever,
it's just
Yin
food,
Yin will say so. If you ask about selling things to the Zorn, Yin will say they are. She kind of like blinks at you in surprise and says they would be taking them as food. I don't think you would get as much for them as you might
Food?
from those who would use them as they are designed.
oh, okay.
They eat metal. Oh, lovely.
They do.
I am.
And that is
wearing
what we
metal.
trade. We have minerals here that are of very high quality.
Do they like alloys more than base metals?
They prefer gems and valuable metals.
Oh, I'm covered in that. I don't want to go anywhere near a zone by the sounds of
What?
it. I look like a walking goodie bag that they want to devour.
They sound like civilized people, so they would not.
Yeah.
You say
Even
that
if
until they
they
start
happen to
eating your
eat.
books.
I mean, even if they happen to eat metal and gems, it's not like they attack you to eat them.
Yeah.
Well, the
It's
elephants
not like
don't
they are
either,
rust
you know.
monsters.
No, that's okay. I thought we might get
mean-
a trading opportunity out of it, but yeah, it sounds good. We will discuss this amongst ourselves and get back to you.
Understand.
Anyone else need to know more?
All right. So you head back to your ships to discuss whether you want to take it or not.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So keep in mind that on top of anything else that you might want to do visiting other ports before you leave this sphere, you're looking at at least 2 weeks there, 2 weeks back, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would they accept a partial completion of the deal, like get you at least half, and they can make their own arrangements?
That doesn't really work. You're either going to take them there or you're not going to
Yeah,
take them.
well, the problem might be from them getting out of this general area. They don't know where the problem lies.
The
Well,
pirates
exactly.
might. Yeah, the pirates might be very well anywhere. So
Yeah. Either we take the job or we
And there
don't.
are
We don't have
pirates
to.
anywhere. There's more
Mhm.
than just like there isn't just like
Alright.
a single group of pirates. There are pirates everywhere.
mhm.
There are goblin
Yeah.
pirates, there are hobgoblin pirates, there are kobold pirates, there are illithid pirates, and there are troglodyte pirates. troglodyte pirates, that is a like they have a pirate confederacy, but there are pirates of and there are Fomorian pirates as well. So there's all kinds of pirates.
Yeah.
Since the plan was also to go visit the Goblin port for the flags, this while it takes longer time, this would basically mean that we do not have to just go back for the flags.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
but that's
means-
only a couple days extra.
No, that's true.
Doing that.
That's true.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
still, and it would pay with chest full of uncut gems that would most likely fund quite a lot of our expenses for the travel back.
Those diamonds I cut by themselves uncut, they sell for like what chunks? A diamond like 500 gold or less. Like cut them into like thousands of gold.
Right. Uncut is typically 10% of the base cut rate.
Lafdul's just trying to upsell how valuable chest
Don't
of
you
uncut
have
gems
some-
are.
Don't you have some dust from cutting up gem? They buy that.
I didn't get any gem dust actually. I don't think. I can't remember.
It's really hard to keep that stuff.
Right.
Like, because it's one thing to like grind a gemstone down to dust in a
Yeah.
mortar and pestle kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
where it's collecting all of that right there. When you're cutting, you're most of that stuff is getting like blown away from where you're working kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just by your breath, by you blowing off the dust that's left
Even
behind, and
breathing
make
it
sure
in.
that that kind of thing. So you really don't end up with very much that you can use from cutting gems.
So we lose time, but we gain some money. So, it sounds like we'll be doing a good deed for these people. Not going to see them again, but they seem nice enough people. Lever, you was looking for information. It's another place to visit. You cannot. I presume you're looking around here to see if you can pick up anything to do with the lithids.
It put us closest to the elephant ports, wouldn't it? And that's what Lever really wanted.
Well, I don't know whether the Zorn would pick up any information on the lithids, but
No, as in the elephant ports be closer to the Zorn port.
yeah, I don't know whether the Zorn port would be a place to pick up any information.
How are they called?
Zorn. With an X, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
XORN.
Uh-huh.
Quite good for giving you hugs, from what I hear. No, Braxon wouldn't know what a Zorn was.
I mean, there's a good chance that what your characters are picturing is like a humanoid with big, strong teeth that can eat metal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is not what they look like at all. But that's what your characters might be expecting.
Yeah. I think Braxon will be thinking they would be like an Otterlock. But one that eats metal instead of rubbish.
So the big question is whether you want to spend the time doing this or whether you want to just start getting back home.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that your crew is definitely going to be more in favor of just getting home.
Could I see what the actual reward is? Because I could get a feel for its value.
No, they'd basically just give you a chest full of uncut gems.
Random uncut gems, or can we ask for specific gems?
It would be random.
Gems we can trade on the way home.
Gems.
Yeah, like I said, that would most likely cover most of the expenses on the way home.
Even those diamonds would set us up for once we sell them, or if we sell them, that's like months and months of pay.
Yeah, but I also mean that they would most likely cover any necessary, or at least part of any necessary repairs and resupplying of wood and such.
Yeah.
I mean, Lafdul does make a good point in that you have a bunch of diamonds to sell that are quite valuable.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
So you're
Solas
selling them?
Solas
Probably.
votes in favor of doing this.
We got items that we need to identify as well. I was going to ask that, but the
Yeah, but we need
conversations kept
pearls.
happening.
But we need pearls to identify, not diamonds.
Well, yeah, I know.
Maybe we can get paid with some pearls.
They wouldn't have pearls here.
Pearls are quite
fair
rare in here, I think.
Actually, no. There is a lake that they might have some pearls. So we make a general inquiry somewhere. Doesn't mean they'll have the right type of crustaceans or shellfish to make the pearls.
I think it's more a case of, are we going to give up a month? Do we want another month?
I think the crew would
Before
be
we
very
go.
happy with that, to be fair.
I mean, the crew will do what you want if you make the argument to them, but given their choice, they would say, "Let's go home."
Yeah.
Because most of them haven't been home in many
Very
months
long
as it
time.
is right now, because you were in
Yeah.
Krinspace for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have to start making our way back home.
Yeah, and Solas makes the argument that this would fund the way home and basically most likely for all the things that we need to buy or repair or bribe.
Yeah, a crate, a chest full of uncut gems is a lot of money, potentially.
And also it would be a bonus at the end of the trip for the crew.
Well,
basically.
Lera just remembers something, and something we seem to have forgotten, which is the pair of humans that we wanted to ask whether they want to come with us. The ones that arrived the same way as we did.
Yeah,
the merchant and the bodyguard.
Yeah.
yeah. If we can find them.
Well, she personally thinks that's more important than this particular thing here.
Well, okay. Do we know where they are?
No.
No.
Maybe in this sphere, but not at this first port where we were.
I don't think we heard about them at the Hobgoblin port either, and that was the last port we came from.
No, you haven't been to the Hobgoblin port.
Not the Goblin port, I mean the taverns there. I think we made some inquiries there, didn't we?
Didn't we hear from someone that they were going to the Hobgoblin port?
I believe you did, but you're not sure when that was.
Yeah.
That was recent-ish, so within like a month of when you heard it. But at this point, that was also
It would have moved on.
at least 3 weeks ago. No, at least a month ago. So you're talking between 1 and 2 months ago, kind of thing.
So
they could be anywhere at this point.
Yeah, if we were to do this, we could basically inquire about them and see if they are in anywhere near that we might be able to pick them up and ask if they want to hitch a ride.
Okay.
Let's have an idea. Yeah.
And yes, Leva is going around, not as much as she would have, but she's going around asking for whether anybody knows anything about the Talangran Empire or the illicits from there.
So your best bet would probably be to go to the tavern and ask.
Yeah.
And no, the Pecs mostly keep to themselves, so they have no gossip information.
Oh, pity. Okay.
So they don't know anything about that. Were you asking anything else as well?
I don't think anything else was applicable for this sphere because no.
Okay.
I'm going through my old notes, so maybe there is something, but at the moment I can't say no.
I was just wondering.
Hmm.
Okay.
But yeah,
If you're wondering, then that generally means that there's something to ask.
No, it is not. I was just wondering if I mean, you guys have talked about other things, so I was just wondering if you were
Yeah.
asking about anything else. You could also ask about rocks and minerals. I mean, these guys are miners, so.
Oh yeah, we could buy scroll stuff. Lafdul's.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Solas is going to order more spell components, but that we can do after the game, basically. Unless you want to do that on stream.
No, we can do that after the game. Keep in
Yeah.
mind that this is a place where unworked mineral material is going to be easily available. Other stuff, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys have not spent enough time that you need to replenish spell components yet. So this is just more of you're looking for specific items.
Yeah. But about this potential escort job, Solas is in favor of it, so Solas votes yes.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, I am as well.
All right. So that's 2 yeses. Leva.
Hmm. Leva doesn't really care either way, yeah, so yeah, okay.
Okay. Ockar.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Are you a yes or a no?
For what?
For the escort job.
I mean, I'm fine with it, but I do think it might be a good idea to leave to pet home. Sure.
We're not pushing you for it. You can be against it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
You're
think I'll
being
go
different.
for. I think I'll go for against it because I'd rather get the group back to Brawl as soon as possible.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Finn.
Finn's leaning more towards getting back home.
All right. And Braxon.
Braxton's gonna vote for it narrowly.
Okay. All right. So that's 4-2.
Braxton says there's a chance we might meet some pirates, and if we beat pirates, we get to keep treasure. And if we meet any slavers, we get to rescue slaves.
Yeah, but we also have a dedication to our crew to get them home.
There is that. There is that.
Yeah,
Every
but
time we fight, they die.
earlier during our trip, Braxon was worried about the company funds. This would basically ensure that the company funds should be enough to reach home without too many
Well, if I
problems, especially if Lafdul can cut the gems.
Even if I just found somewhere to sell the cut diamonds, let alone more gems to cut, then we'd have enough money. It's just finding a place I'll buy them.
Also, it would mean that at the end of the trip, our crew would get bigger pay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
so-
we might end up with more crew. We might end up with more crew dying.
I mean,
We
it's the
might do,
nature of
yeah.
the job at the end of the day.
Well, we'll have to be careful. I've improved the armor of our crew,
Yeah.
and what we can do is we can keep an eye on our crew and see if we can improve training and stuff like that as we go along.
We should try and train them up and be better.
Yeah,
I mean, it'll cost more, but it will. Means
exactly. I don't mind paying more money.
they die as easily as they do.
What would also be nice is if we get somewhere where we're going to stick around, is if we can get better weapons for the ship.
Okay.
But
Can we
basically,
get heavy weapons?
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can replace your mediums with heavies if you want.
Oh, so it's an upgrade.
Yeah, but keep in mind that that does take up more cargo space.
Yeah,
Yeah, how much?
also heavy
You don't have a
weapons
whole lot left.
No.
Don't heavy weapons reload slower?
They do.
yeah. I'd
Yeah,
rather
they
have
do.
There's also
but
that.
considering how little combat actually lasts in space, it's kind of like get the most bang for your buck before you start boarding each other.
I'd say it's better to have a mixed heavy and medium.
Well, it's something to think about. You're not going to be able to get it here. So you let the you let Yin know that you're going to take the job.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and take our break here. When we come back in about 10 minutes, you can finish up your preparations and get underway.
We'll be spending some time in the tavern. I think tonight.
Yeah, and we can do a little bit of that as well. So we will be back shortly, everyone. A good time to stretch your legs, get something to drink or eat, and we will see you on the other side.